dead center in the middle. Okay. So how's it going, guys? This is Rio Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. What, it's been how many years? 2 to 3 years ever since I last left Tokyo. And typically, you know me, I'm not a super social guy, so I don't go outside of Tokyo in this time of pandemic. But upon recently, a friend of mine actually sent me a physical mail, and it surprised me that she was getting married, not in Tokyo, but in Kanagawa slash Yokohama. So the location was in New Grand Hotel located in Motomachi Chukagai in Yokohama, Kanagawa Prefecture. Ah, my jaw hurts. FYI, so for your information, Yokohama is basically a large city based in Kanagawa Prefecture, and that's basically a state below Tokyo. And it's sort of like I used to live in Iowa, but I need to go to Nebraska, something like that. If it makes any sense for people who live in the United States. So it's something like that. You're basically going to a different like state. So what's great about Yokohama in particular is that if you hop on a train, the what I call the Tokyo Toyoko train from Shibuya, actually, you can go from Shibuya to Yokohama in roughly 30 minutes, which is really nice. And Motomachi Chukagai is also aka known as Chinatown. Unfortunately, we are not going there. We're going the other way around towards the Yamashita Park type of area, so that towards the port area where the hotel, where the reception takes place. Compared to Tokyo, Yokohama in particular is basically a sort of like a port type of town where a lot of trading has started to like grow back in the days, and it's also the location where Yokosuka in particular is, where the US Marine actually resides. So there's this sort of like Western influence going on within that sort of like port city. And the Hotel New Grand, where the ceremony is being held, is a sort of like an iconic building in Yokohama, which opened back in like 1927 if I'm right, and it basically welcomed, you guys know it, General MacArthur, who took over Japan when we lost the war back in like 1945 or so, in August if I'm right. And a lot of iconic people such as Babe Ruth, Charlie Chaplin actually were invited to this hotel to stay for the term when they were in Japan actually. So yeah, because Yokohama has been this sort of like city where it's been used to connect the west and the east, there's a lot of like western type of like buildings around that area, and Western American type of architecture, the old-fashioned kind of. So before the wedding took place, I basically, you guys know it, strolled around this area to see if there was anything interesting to shoot around this area. And like I said, this sort of like hotel, in front of this hotel there's this massive park called that's Shibuya, Yamashita Park actually, which stretches like few kilometers away, and basically you can walk all the way towards Yokohama, but I didn't want to risk that because I wouldn't be able to come back to those hotels for the reception. So I took a couple of like photos along the way to showcase to you guys. So after strolling around, and it was like time to attend the wedding, unfortunately due to privacy issues, I was only able to like snag a couple of shots during the wedding. And in this like moment, I instead of taking the GW690, I went with the Mamiya due to the fact that if you're in this sort of like time conscious area of like weddings and stuff like that, GW690 isn't the wisest choice because you can only take 8 shots, while the Mamiya on the other hand, you get double the shots per roll, which is like 15 shots per roll. So I basically did not have to frequently swap out the film stock during the shoot. And yeah, and for the film stock, I thought of taking Portra 400 along, but because it was indoors, I thought, no, it shouldn't be that serious. So I instead took the famous Lomography 800 because it's a fun time during that day and it's not serious stuff. So yeah, and because of the higher speed of 800, it would provide the extra benefits when I'm shooting in low light conditions. So yeah. Okay, so after the shoot, I just love the shots of how Lomography 800 looks like, and this is like something that started to bother me, but Lomography 800 in Tokyo, actually I think a lot of people are starting to notice it because of the price hike in the Kodak Portra line. Like the Portra 400 right now costs $64 or $5 in the United States, but if you add the shipping cost to Tokyo, it's gonna cost like $80 or so per 5-roll pack, and that's really expensive. While the Lomography 800 on the other hand, one roll costs roughly 1,100 yen, so one roll costs $10 right now. So typically it might be a true fact, but Lomography's like medium format film is actually the cheapest film to shoot in Tokyo as of 2022, and a lot of people are starting to take notice, and Lomography 800's film stock within Tokyo is starting to deplete, so I might have to sort of like stock up on that film stock if I want to like shoot further throughout this year. And man, money's burning through my pocket right now. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any like questions, as always, please leave it in the comments section below. I'm happy to reply. And at the same time, I really should stock up on Lomography 800 because that film stock is deplenishing at a faster rate than I anticipated. So cheers for y'all, and stay safe, be happy, and stay sharp.